Hey everybody, this is Jonesy from Two Rabbits One Hole. Just reporting off the road. I'm in Georgia right now. Just went up to Spencer, West Virginia to visit some family, visit my kids. So blessed that I got to see them. It's been so long, like been about 3 or 4 years. Just been battling family court and just some interesting judges that have made decisions that make no sense. I guess this is a little talk about my story. So like I met their mom. We lived in North Carolina. We decided to move back home. That was when she was pregnant with my son, and we decided to go back home, think it was the best idea. Her parents have always been very outspoken and a little bit controlling, and it put a damper on our marriage, among other things. We were young, having kids. Before you knew it, our daughter was born. I did the best that I could. At one point I was working 3 jobs so she could stay home and watch the kids, and never seemed to be good enough for her parents. Her dad's always had a vendetta against me. I don't know why. Still to this day, still thinks he knows better for my kids. When we went through the divorce and I had my visitation rights, and I would get my kids during the summer and spring breaks, it got to a point where they filed like a weird injunction and had my son fill an affidavit. I mean, have you, they were young, not even barely teenagers, and they were trying to say what was best for the kids. Guardian ad litem stepped in. They wanted to stay there, even though the kid's mother wanted them to live with me. Like the court got tied up, and eventually it got tied up so much that they're going to end up aging out before any decision was ever made in family court. They wanted me to come up and see them, and so I came up, got the Airbnb, spent a good time. My daughter turned 16 today. Well, actually the 2nd, so it's like yesterday, June 1st. So it was good. I missed them. I would move mountains for those kids, and it's really unfair how I've been working in corrections for 17 years, law-abiding citizen, no drug history, no criminal history, and yet the grandparents made a decision that the kids wouldn't see me. I deal with criminals all the time, and they'll be heavy into meth, and all they gotta do is take a 3 to 6 month class, and then they get their kids again. But here's me, law-abiding citizen, went so long that I wasn't able to see my kids, and it made no sense. And it's just been a touchy subject. It's always been a situation. I do my best. I used to have a lot of hate in my heart over it, but I've gotten to a point where you gotta be better than what the world does to you. Though people may treat you bad, you can't change who you are. You can't let that hate just like consume your heart and make you less of a person because of what's done to you. I just pray. I've gotten to a point where I just pray. I leave it up to God. I'm no judge. I'm no jury. And I'm no person to get lost in revenge or being in a grudge. I'm just a positive person, and I just want to be on the right path, and I just pray. I pray for my family. I pray for others. I want to be here, like at this point in my life, if it wasn't for the blessings that was, given to me. Like I said, I've been through a lot lately, past like 3 or 6 months, from having a severe back injury to, having the biggest surprise of all of like my son reaching out to me and talking to me on Easter Day. That's Stitchy right there. He's been my co-pilot on this trip. But there's a lot of things in life that just don't make any sense. But we can't judge God's plan. Things happen for a reason, and I'm so thankful and glad that I was able to spend some time with my kids and let them know how I feel and that I missed them. And it's so nice to see them like just grow up to be a young man and a young woman that they are. So proud of them. They really make me happy. I know this is like the subject's off, not really on what my channel's about, but I guess I just wanted to share it. Just drive down this road, and I was just thinking, just for the fans, just to let you know about a piece of me, that I'm not perfect, and that I've went through my struggles to get where I am, to find peace, and to have my faith in God, and knowing that everything's all going to work itself out. I don't know what the future holds. I know I've told my kids I'm always going to be there. That's never going to change. I'm very proud of them. I got allergies when I was like up there, man. They was getting me all teary-eyed, like just being able to see them. This was such a great moment. I wish my mom was around to see it. I got to spend time with my dad. My dad spent time with me and the kids. That was a plus. We went and seen the movie Backrooms, which was alright. I passed out. Like, it couldn't hold my attention. Like, I get what they were trying to do, but it was a little too artsy-fartsy, and I was just like, okay. But it was my daughter's choice. It was her birthday, so
in about 10 miles at the
I just
roundabout,
went
take
ahead
the second exit onto 4-line Freeway West.
went ahead and watched it. So got him some new shoes and all that good stuff. But it's just it's tough out there for people to stay positive. You have so many people that are manipulative, that think they know better, that are narcissistic, that want to control everything, and has this like unquenchable thirst for greed to take from others and to benefit themselves, and not really think of the common good or to help out your fellow man. We got people that go to church that claim to be Christians and good people, but their actions speak louder than words. The things that you do against your fellow man, your thy neighbor, I mean, it says a lot. And it's not my part to judge, but I do know who is going to judge when there's a time. But, if you say you're Christian and you say you're a good person, actions speak louder than words. Like, I see so many people just beating up on each other, just trying to, get over on people. But why? Why do we let this, this instinct or this animalistic side of us to take over when we have a brain and we can have logical thoughts? There's just so much hate in this world. There's so much just she said, this said, stuff like that. Just, I pray for peace. Everybody's at their own little wars with each other, but it's at the end of the day, life is so short. Why do we fight with each other? Why do we fight with our own family members? Why do we, have to feel the need to make people uncomfortable and to get our agendas across and not have peace? At the end of the road, friends and family is really all that's left. We can make so much money in the world and still be depressed. You can make little money and be depressed. But I feel like what's made me feel like I'm the richest is just the love that I have with my wife, my dogs, my friends, my family. I'm truly blessed in understanding that. I mean, there's moments in life where you just feel like you're alone, or you feel like the world's just on your shoulders, but you have people that care about you. I know I kind of went in different directions in this talk. I don't know. I just wanted to make some video, some content. It's been a while since I made anything. Just been busy. Like I said, I had the recent vacation to Tennessee, and then just recently I went up to West Virginia to go see my family. And but I'm moving forward. I'm gonna get this podcast moving in the right direction. I got some good content that should be coming out. I'm gonna be working with a local tattoo artist. Gonna be interviewing new guests. I'm gonna try to stick more into the guidelines so it's not confusing for my audience. My manager, my wife, mentioned to me that it's cool to celebrate small businesses and to point out things, but need to stand with what the show's all about, and that's those weird stories, the conspiracies of just sharing those and getting to see what people think about them. Because I'm not sitting there with a full hat on my head. It's more lines I want to point out the weird stuff that happens and that nobody blinks an eye or says anything about. We tend to protest the wrong things and not really fight for the things that we need to fight for that make sense. Regardless of what political background you are, I'm sure we can all come to a level of why don't we do things that make sense? We're hardcore Americans. We pay our taxes, and we really got to keep track of where our tax money's going, because there is so much fraud of people just siphoning everybody's money, and it's starting to blend to a point where you can't tell the difference between a politician and a person bumming money on the street. Because at least the person that's bumming money on the street has a sign and he's looking for cash. A politician will just, say, this is what I'm going to do for you, and this is what's going to happen. Then they'll do that, but then just be the one to siphon in that money of the taxpayers' money, and get in on that insider trading, which I think is horribly wrong. Because it's like us as civilians, like, we don't have access to that information, and people in politics will get like a tip on what bill is going to get passed, what's going to happen next in the government, so they can make the appropriate investments and top out on that. Don't agree with that. I also don't agree with how, like, if you have a spouse or a family member and when they pass away, that their life insurance or their retirement gets cut down to about 30% given to the other spouse. These are couples that worked together and to pay bills and to live life, and when one of them passes, you're only going to give 30% of what they had to the other spouse. I mean, the rest of it goes to the government. You guys can check this out. You can Google it. It's literally 30%. And I feel like you should get at least 75%, to be honest. That would make more sense to me. I know you can't have it all, but I really think if you're married to somebody for a long period of time, that you should be able to get their retirement that they paid into. It should go to the family. It shouldn't go right back to the government. That's just me. Tell me what you think. Give me your thoughts on that. Does that make sense to you?
For about 61 miles, continue straight on.
So I'm about 4 hours and 40 minutes away from my destination. And I'm just having my own little podcast road show here of just kind of chit-chatting on my thoughts. I haven't really touched base on any current topics, mostly because I haven't really been paying attention to any current topics lately. I've just been busy. I've been trying to get myself settled into life. I got doctor's appointments. I got my kids' things, and just life. So I'm doing the best I can, and I hope my fans understand that. I appreciate the fans that are watching, and I hope you spread and we keep growing. And I don't know. I'm just doing this as a hobby right now. If it happens to go somewhere cool, FYI, this fall I plan on dropping a clothing line supporting Two Rabbits One Hole podcast, official clothing wear. So look out for that this fall. Still working out the design and stuff. And I hope you guys are enjoying the AI cartoons that I put together. I've been having fun doing that. Just been learning. I didn't go to school for this. I got my certificate in journalism, but some of the computer aspects and the editing, that's all on me. I don't have a team. I haven't got to that point like Joe Rogan and some of the other top people. Maybe one of these days. Until then, I'm doing everything. Of course, with family and friends, help on the way and stuff in that nature. But majority, I've been doing all this for the past 2 months now, working on this podcast, making it what it is. changing things up. I don't know if you noticed on the Facebook page, I've included my past history, kind of letting my fans get to know who this person is that's talking. That I am not just some young kid out of the woods and hasn't had any experiences of life, but, you know, I'm a prior Marine. I've spent the last 17 years in corrections. I gave college a go here and there. I hope to go back and finish my associate's degree. I have certifications, and I'll be 41 this fall. So yeah, I might know a little bit of something. I mean, I feel like most of my perks that I have is that, you know, I try to make sense. I try to make sense out of life. We're all trying to make sense out of life. You know, we go and we get in this grind, work, off, vacations, work, off, holidays, and hey, Stitchy woke up. That's my co-passenger right there. I'm so glad he came on the trip with me. It's nice to have my little buddy here with me. He had a good vacation too. We went to Tudor's in West Virginia. We don't have that in other places like in Florida. Great breakfast place. I recommend that if you're ever in West Virginia, you try Tudor's. My wife says it's bad for you, but boy is it delicious. And I love the Duke, and I like the Marshall burger, or the Marshall breakfast sandwich. And you got free bacon. Loved
Railway
it.
crossing ahead.
It's been interesting traveling on the road, going through the states. Luckily the weather was pretty nice. Nothing major, nothing bad. It was raining a little bit last night. I stopped at my niece and nephew's to get some rest. I was just exhausted. I've been running the midnight oil, man. I was so excited to see my kids. I was like running on 5 hours of sleep and just driving, you know. We do anything for our family. But now I'm heading back. Back to work, back to reality, back to doctor's appointments. Getting a epidural steroid shot in my lower back next week. Been doing what I can to not be on the surgical table, so I've been getting shots in my back, which is pretty funky when it's going in. I don't walk normal until about 6 hours after my shot. So for those people out there that find themselves in a position where you have to get shots in your back, I recommend that you bring a cane with you after you get your shot, because walking can be a little funky. Update with the VA. I'm pretty much set, easy, and going. For those that are out there, that when you're putting your dependents down, make sure that all the numbers match up. I'm in the position where my wife's covered, my daughter's covered, my son still working on that, because at the VA they have him down as a 24-year-old, which he's not 24, he's 17. So I had to resubmit to his birth certificate to go into the VA and get that fixed, so that my family can see the VA, because I have that coverage. So pointer out there for veterans that are applying for their VA. I talked to my dad. You know, he's worried that like when he applies for VA, he won't get anything for it. But I'm like, Dad, you jumped out of helicopters, and I mean, you sustained injuries. And he also came from a time when the military frowned upon you even seeing a doctor, so you guys were toughing it out. I mean, the injuries that you guys sustained from back in the day during like the Gulf War, Vietnam, like all that, Korean War, it's like, dude, you've been through a lot. So, oh, wife's calling. I'll have to pick this back up.
Two Rabbits, One Hole podcast. Smash that like, follow. Definitely don't forget to share and go down the hole with us.